Hey guys, it's Pencil Pets again. I wanted to come back after making that colored pencil carousel video and talk about some of the tools that I use for graphite. When I made the video on how to make that carousel, you know, I'm not that good at colored pencil. I was trying to learn at the time, but you know, have pretty much given up and gone back to graphite, at least for now, because color theory is just beyond me. So I wanted to talk about graphite tools and some of the things that I found that have been really handy. I haven't really seen these talked about anywhere else, so I figured I would just show you guys. So the first thing is bacon trays, microwave bacon trays. So I use these to keep my pencils in. I've got a little strip of foam down there at the bottom just to protect the points when I drop them back in. And I write what the lead hardness is, so that I can just, you know, sort of at a glance grab the pencil that I'm looking for. Same thing with the mechanical pencils. This is really helpful, especially because I can never keep track of like what pencil has which lead in it at the time. So I just write down, you know, what this point size is, the lead size, and the hardness, and that way I can just grab them. Another thing is the Tombow Mono Zero erasers. These are great because they are so tiny, right? I mean, that little tiny point, you can't beat that. The problem I have with them is that the eraser tends to spin in it, so it'll sometimes pick up and smear the graphite more than anything else. So what I do is actually take the eraser refills and I put them in clutch pencils. So, you know, you need an actual like clutch, not a drop-in pencil. But you just pop it right in there, and then it doesn't spin, it grips it really firmly, and you're good to go. I actually keep two of them because one of them I'll keep cut at an angle for really sharp, you know, tiny little areas. And then when they get dirty, because sometimes the tip will just start getting dirty, I actually have some putty up here, and I'll just kind of stab it into the putty and clean it off. So that always stays there as well. See, next thing is drawing gloves. You know, I have this, like, you know, it looks funky. It's like something out of Flashdance. But these are really handy for when you're drawing and you want to or need to rest your hand on the paper. This, you know, especially since I have a drawing board, I'm not rotating the paper. Sometimes I need to, you know, be like this or, you know, at a weird angle. So I don't have to worry about transferring the oils from my hands onto the paper. You know, I can just go for it. I mean, it will like smear very slightly, and you know, you'll notice that like the white turns a little darker, but it's super easy to clean up and has really like changed my life. So, oh, another thing, putty. You know, a lot of people use putty. The only thing I use kneadable erasers for is picking up eraser shavings off of the paper. Blu-Tack is super popular for picking up extra graphite. You know, it's formable, it's sticky, you can get it into those tiny little places. But this stuff, this is called Aleen's Craft Tack, A-L-E-E-N''S. It is stickier than Blu-Tack. It's just as formable, you know, it's still firm, you can get, you know, tiny little points if you need to, but much, much, much stickier. So if you're trying to, you know, go all the way back to white in some places, you can do it with this stuff. And one of the things that helps with that actually is that I never use blending stumps anymore. These are color shapers. They're made for pastels and clay, actually. It's just, you know, it's got a silicone tip. Not in focus here. It's got a silicone tip. This one is actually a chisel that I cut down to shape. Can get into little tiny spaces, and then I have bigger ones for doing larger areas. This one is Royal Sovereign, but there's a bunch of generic versions as well. But these are great. And the other thing about these is that, you know, you can wind up like drawing with them. You know, they work just like blending stumps, and they don't destroy the tooth of the paper. That's the best part, right? So, you know, if I did want to go back all the way to white with the Aleen's Craft Putty, you know, I could do that. Actually, I'll show you real quick. I really do think that this stuff is better than the Blu-Tack. So, you know, just kind of pick it up. And because I haven't gotten all the way down into the tooth of the paper, most of the time I can get all the way back to white in like little tiny areas, you know, which is great if I screwed up, because a lot of times I do. So, you know, and then, you know, you just come back in and blend back in or whatever, do whatever you need to. So anyway, those are some of the tools I use. Hope that that's helpful. Don't forget the colored pencil tutorial, carousel tutorial is actually just as valid if you're a graphite artist. I use mine for, you know, extra lead, for, you know, I have powdered graphite, sharpener, electric erasers, you know, additional erasers, like these really handy sandpaper, like typewriter erasers, which are great for cleanup. So if you're a graphite artist, that colored pencil carousel tutorial is just as valid for you. So that's it. Hopefully, you know, hopefully you liked this. And maybe I'll come back in another couple years with some more tutorials. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.